Hey everybody, it's Rory from A&S Gear, and we're going to do an install today. So this is an Etha 2 EMC kit going onto an Etha 2. So it's just a straightforward installation of the EMC for the Etha 2 on an Etha 2. No modifications required, nothing, just straightforward installation. So we've got our body for our Etha 2. We've got all of our different pieces, our eye covers, everything like that, which we'll pull out. These are the extension rail shrouds for the front, and then we've got our adapters for the back if we're looking to put in a stock or something like that. So we'll do just the basic body install right now. So the first couple things we need to do is remove the eye covers off the original gun. We need to remove the feed neck off the original gun. So let's just go ahead and pop these off. And we'll take out the detent just to keep them unlost. We know where they are, all in the same spot. All right, so we got that there. We're not going to use the original eye covers. We will use replacement eye covers that are provided for us when we're done. All right. This one and this one. Let's do feed neck. And then we can take off the two lower frame screws and separate the body. Right there. We'll set this to the side because we will use this again in just a minute. Now what we have to do is get this body, the insert that's inside this glass reinforced nylon shell out. Now you can put the barrel in and then you can push the barrel on the ground kind of like this and help slide the body out. I've taken just a piece of Delrin like I have right here and then tapped on it with a hammer to help slide it out. Any way you can do it to kind of move that down and out of the way and get that to free itself up. If you do go the barrel route, be very careful. Put some towel on the ground because you're going to be pushing the gun with the barrel into the ground, so you definitely don't want to damage that in any way. All right, there. So now we've got this off. We can just set this to the side. We really don't need this anymore. Just checking on the inside of it, looking for any damage or anything like that. Everything looks good. We can take our body, put it right in there. So at this point, we could, in theory, just go ahead and screw everything back together. We can put all our screws in there and then go ahead and lace everything up and call it a day. But we do have some other things that we can talk about before we get to there. So this little piece at the back right here, this is the lock mechanism for the stock on the back of the gun. So you've got a couple different adapter pieces that are back here. Let's go ahead and check this. This is a drop stock right here. Then we've got a large adapter and a small adapter. Screws over there. They give you an extra one of these back adapter or the lock mechanisms. Right there. And then the blanking plug, which is this one right here. So this plug, let's say you put this all together and you didn't want to put a stock into it. You just wanted the gun as it is, no stock. Then you would take this, and this would be the piece that would go inside here, like this, all right? If you wanted the stock at the drop, so what I say by a drop is this part goes into the gun right here, and then the stock is slightly lower than the midline of the body. You would use this piece right here. Now this piece, and I believe it's the large adapter, have to be used together. Just look at these two real quick. I think it is this one. Looks to be about right. And that would go in there like that. So it really comes down to what you want to do. These take 98 custom stocks, so if you're looking for a stock or a replacement stock, or you want to use a stock, that's the style that you want to go for, that version stock. But this piece right here, let's talk about it before we go any further. So it locks into the back side of the stock like that, and we can flip it, and when we flip it like this, it allows whatever plug or whatever you're using to slide in, and then when you lock it over, it keeps this plug from falling out. So this is the way to keep your stock, once you've put it into the gun, from sliding out and becoming loose. There's no screw that goes through these pieces or whatever to hold them in. It's this locking tab that holds the whole kit and caboodle stock-wise in place. So you definitely want to put one of those in there. Now, I have found in the past when putting these in, if you over tighten them, that they love to get stuck and not move. So just be careful when you're putting them in that you are not overdoing it and causing them to stick. They get really hard to turn sometimes. Seemed like it wasn't lining up right when I was putting it together here. There we go. All right, next. So right now let's go ahead and get our parts back on. Let's get all of our screws out. It's got an awful lot of screws. Be a handy job for a small electric screwdriver. You can overdo it with those things, so be careful with electric screwdrivers. Don't overdo it. If you over tighten something with them and you strip something out or cause damage, then you've gone too far. And it's really hard to get something like this fixed rather than replaced. A lot of these screws I'm turning backwards. You can see me going backwards with the screw before I go in with it. Just making sure that it doesn't cross thread or damage or anything like that. And I'm just going to lightly tighten these down at this point. This isn't going to be an install that's going to stay, so I'm not going to really overdo it. Although maybe we'll leave it on there and we'll put it in the retail room so customers can see it. All right, so there we are, nice and secure. Let's go ahead and make sure that we're not moving. This is what I was talking about with moving this thing. When these things are tight like this, opening that up on the back is extremely difficult. So if I loosen these up just a little bit, it makes it very easy. And this will wear in as we go along. make it a little bit easier to turn as you use it more often. All right, so we've got the frame on the body. Let's go ahead and put our, I shouldn't say the frame, we've got the outer body on the gun body. Let's put our feed neck back on. Go ahead and put our lower body back on. Looking to see what's matching up here and what isn't matching up. There we go. You see how it didn't want to snap together? This is kind of binding up in the middle right here. It should come together just like that, where it completely sits up against the top and it's nice and flush. When I first put that on there, it didn't want to go and get in there. There's a stem that comes through. It's actually the turret that this screw goes into, and it just wasn't lining up, so I had to kind of just wiggle it around a little bit till it found its right hole and then slot it up into space. So if you find a giant groove or gap right here, I don't want to say don't force it. You don't want to break anything. Just kind of slowly, gently move things around and see as to why it's not fitting inside there. Usually if you just take a moment and look, you'll figure out why it's not going in there. I'm glad that happened while we were shooting this. Otherwise, people will just assume like, oh, I just slapped it together, it's super easy. Rory makes it look so easy. Everything just goes together. Most of the time it doesn't. It's the glory of editing. It looks perfect. All right. So there we have our EMC kit on. Let's find our eyes. Here we go. So the eyes are assembled with everything you need on them except for obviously the detents going into the body and the screw to hold it in place. You do not need to take the little reflection tube, or I don't know what they're calling, the prism or whatever that is, out of the original ones and put it into the new one. They come like that. So we can get these two, and we can just move them off to the side or slightly drop them off to the side. Get rid of that trash down there. And then let's find our other, because that's the wrong side. All right. There we go. I'm going to take our detent, drop that in, make sure it fits properly in place. Take our eye cover, put that on, and then lock that down. Detent. Eye cover. Now there are a couple extra screws that you'll see. Extra feed neck screws. These are extra eye cover screws. So there are certain ones that you will not use. So don't worry that there's extra ones inside of there. All right, so we're just gonna go with the blank plug for now because we're not putting a stock in it. But if you did, you put the stock into the plug, put the stock into the back of the gun. Very, very simple, straightforward setup. All right, there we go. Oops, forgot to lock it. There we go, now that keeps that from falling out. Right there. Now, we wanted to put this together. let's say we had a longer barrel and we wanted a long tactical rifle look on the front, we would use these parts. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to assemble it before you put it on the gun. So let's go ahead and put this together. That looks right, doesn't it? I think so. We're going to do this, and this, and this. Now I've done a bunch of EMC kits before. This Etha 2 kit, this is the first time for me putting one of these on together, so we're getting up to a point. I mean, all this other stuff right here is kind of just like the other one. But this front shroud, the way this mounts up is, I've never done this before, so this is going to be a learning experience for both of us, or whoever happens to be watching this video. Okay. So this is going to snap together right here. I'm looking at it, and it can only go one way. So we're just going to push these two together. You can see that there's two kind of like prongs right here, which are going to go in and then snap into place. And then we have two retaining tabs, which are going to come in from the other side and lock into place. So they're going to go through the side and then secure it that way as well. So there goes that in. And then we're going to put these on the side and push. Yeah, there we go. Now I can see already the first couple times you put these on and take these off, they're going to be pretty stiff. And it says in the manual, when you pull these things off, pull directly out. Do not bend side to side or lever them out, because you could damage them. So you want to come straight out with them. We'll see how hard that is in just a minute, but here we go. Depending on your barrel length, that's quite a front shroud on there. I don't even know if your stock barrel would fit in there. It might be just, I would assume it's just the right length for this barrel. Oh, see, here's something. You can't put this barrel in when this front shroud is on. So you would have to come from it the other way. Oh yeah, that's tight. That's the way you don't want to do it. You want it to come straight out. All right, so we're gonna have to pull this out and then try this again. Okay, so we'll go on like that. And it's screwed in there. And then we have to do this. Yeah, look at that. So that's a 14-inch two-piece barrel. What I would be concerned about with this front, though, is the opening. Let me see if I can get that in there. The opening for the front of the barrel, where it's going to pass through, is really kind of, it's formed to fit this barrel. So aftermarket barrels that might be wider on the front of the barrel might have some problems fitting through the front of this shroud. Now, I'm sure you could modify that to accept a wider or larger barrel. You just have to, you know, shave it out a little bit and it should work. There you go. That is the EMC for the Etha 2 installed on an Etha 2. Check the website for color availabilities for the Etha EMC kits. Get yours at ansgear.com. Install's not easy, or I should say the install is easy. It's not hard. Just give yourself some time and do it thoroughly. Talk to you later. Get it at ansgear.com.